This is 5AA football.
Well done. Inside Stewart. This time it sticks for James Stewart, the former Giant, and he can go back. Front goal umpire has moved ever so slightly to the left, but not enough. Goddard's hanging around. Gee, that's not a bad kick. That is a fantastic kick. Welcome to AFL football. This kid has just settled in like no one I've ever seen before. Josh Begley.
First quarter highlights for the TAC towards zero. With safer speeds, roads, vehicles and people, zero deaths and serious injuries on our roads is possible.
Yeah, he was good, the kid, in the first term. The debutant, Josh Begley for the Bombers. They lead by 7 points. Second term about to get underway on the boundary line for Spitwater. That's what it does. Concern for Adam Sard with a right knee strapped.
Yep.
Some friendly fire stakes from the captain. Some good signs, though, early for the Bombers, and harm from gambling. Those starts earlier than you think. It's important you learn the signs. Visit betcheck.vic.gov.au. Second term is underway. We'll check in on those Lottoland matchup stakes while we've got a second.
Yeah,
How have you seen those?
Yeah, Joey Danaher versus Stephen May. Pretty even, 6 disposals each. The ruckman, Bell Chambers, has got Brooksby covered at the moment, and Craig Bird, Aaron Hall. I think Aaron Hall.
Laverde's kick as the Bombers go inside 50, first attacking foray this second term. Green, great tackle there on Archie. He wanted holding the footy or deliberate. He wanted a bit of everything there, Joshy Green, and in the end the umpire says, no, you get nothing, mate. We're going to throw it in. 35 around from your goal.
Yeah, so look, that's where that sits with the matchups. Good matchups, but efficiency, both teams even. Marks inside 50 are going to the Bombers, 5-2, and clangers. The Bombers are leading that, 20-7.
Yep, Keno 24/7 now live at lottoland.com.au. Here are the Suns at half back, and it's with Archie. One way, then the next, down the line. Picks out Ainsworth, who takes a nice mark over James Kelly.
Very good mark, and for a little fella like that, he's got some spring. He's just strong in that little contest.
Got a long way off the ground. I like what I see there. Hartley, though, will cut this one off his kick after that praise. Not quite up to the mark, and Hartley for the Bombers will switch play across his 50. Now what's happened? It's a 50-metre penalty, in fact, and it's been paid against Jack Martin for encroaching over the mark.
Dean Solomon be unhappy with that. You can't be giving those easy 50 metres away. It's not a good thing to do for the coach.
No,
gives him a grey hair.
Simmons Home Stats, proudly building home since 1949. Visit simmons.com.au. David Zaharakis for those playing at home. The most possessions in the first term with 9. Danaher couldn't take it at the second grab. Tip and Woody fights on. Handball. Laverde, quick snap. And he is missed to the near side. First score of this second quarter on AFL Nation. And it's the Kubota 40-year anniversary spring catalogue scoreboard. 3-1-19 the Suns. The Bombers 4-3-27. 2 minutes played, second quarter. Here's McKenzie.
McKenzie, that's what he can do.
Breaking left foot, all of 70 metres in travels. Hooker played a little volleyball looking for McGrath, couldn't find him, and McPherson gets the crump. Handball, it made Rosa work, and he wasn't able to reel it in. Here's Zaharakis as he reaches double figures. Parrish to Kelly, all the way back here to Bagley. He's on the paint of his defensive 50. Now he sits it on the head of Bird. Big fly, Fiorini, and a good spoil. He could have gone for the mark, opted for the safety of the boundary line, and it's out on true centre wing, right in front of the benches of both sides for Spitwater. That's what it does.
And just seeing how they line up for the ruck here. So it is Brooksby versus Bell Chambers here. Going back for I dare say this will happen for the first few minutes, and then there might be a change, but maybe it might have been just a first quarter tactic by Dean Solomon.
Heppel, handball that evaded Bird. He got a bad bounce. Heppel goes again, but now there's plenty of Suns around this football, one of whom is McKenzie. That around the body left foot kick of his was well cut off by a man who's done that for the vast majority of his career, Brendan Goddard. Falling over was Pops Kelly. He got it back to Goddard. All's well that ends well for the veteran. Bagley, his kick. Well, not usually a marking target is Josh Green, but he's picked up the footy. Close attention there from Archie, put him off his kick. This will test the knee of Sard. He drops the footy and he's been pinged. Great tackle on the outer side, and you guessed it, it's Anthony McDonald tipping Woody. A Toro Neptune tackle contender. Front on contact free kick, and he'll go to green.
Those two speedsters, Tip and Woody versus that's also another good matchup to keep an eye on, Benny. There'll be plenty of highlights coming out of that little contest tonight.
Absolutely. You'd pay good money to see that in Tokyo in a couple of years' time. 100-metre sprint at the Olympics. It's a bit of a vacancy there now that Usain's hung up the spikes.
Oh, no, I was shattered when he finished third.
Third, and then he did the hamstring in the relay. He's not gone out in a blaze of glory. It's easy in hindsight, of course, but it's a shame we're not going to see, well, I don't think we'll ever see the likes of Usain Bolt again.
That's what it felt like for me, Benny. When you're super quick like that, as you get older, you start to do hamstrings.
You did your hammy in your farewell game before a ball had been bounced, mate.
I know Usain's feeling. I know what you're going through, Usain.
Back pocket here for the Suns. They're fighting on. Free kick's been picked out. Go to Rosa. Pushed in the back. Deep in defence. Handball. McKenzie down the line. Nice kick. Right. On a searching lead at half-back, takes the mark on the chest.
Those kicks look so easy by McKenzie there, where he drills it, 30, 40 metres at waist height.
Yeah.
But he does it with ease, and that's such a skill. That's why he can be an important player in this Suns team.
15th time this year that the Bombers have won the first quarter.
Here he goes.
And that was the same amount as their last 2 years combined. Sard tucked it under the arm, took a bounce. That knee's fine. What are we worried about? Miller. And now they're out here in a big, big way. Fiorini looks up. All the time in the world to assess, and he's just put it on the head of a teammate in McPherson. It was a horrible kick. Goddard, as the Bombers now go the other way. McGrath, he's bumped as he kicks, and the umpire thought it was illegal. Downfield, Josh Green to take the free kick, wastes no time, gives it to Goddard, nearly run down by Swallow. Kick to Laverde, he takes the mark, 2 kicks out from goal.
They'll be smart here, the Bombers. They won't blaze away. You can see they're taking a bit of their time.
Here's Joey. Couldn't take the mark. He got up high. Great handball hooker. Here's Zaharakis. Right foot snap. It's floating. It's floating. It's floating. And it's marked on the last line by Spencer.
McKenzie, I think.
As McKenzie, you're right. Absolutely. Hall receives the short chip in the back pocket. Down the line. It's a wasteful kick. It's a horrible kick. And the mark is taken by the Bombers through McKenna.
I know it was Aaron Hall, but if those kicks frustrate me, they must frustrate Dean Sullivan, because you basically just turned it straight back over with too much ease. You did have 2 players in space. You just need to take a couple more steps there, Aaron Hall, and not rush it.
It might cost them in a goal too. Goddard got it to Laverde, who's now got it to Myers, 55 out. Here's a thumping kick with the left foot. He gives that everything he's got in the goal square. It's nearly there. It's been shepherded through. We are going to have a score review, I'd imagine. Let's wait to hear the umpires are saying. Scoreline review, drink-wise. Remember, no one likes missing a game-changing moment at the footy, and you won't miss a moment if you drink-wise. Still some consultation. So the call is touched, and we're not going to get a drink-wise score review. No, we are.
Yeah.
They've had about 4 different conversations. And finally, we're going to head up to the screens. It was a massive kick from Myers, but it always looked like it was falling short. Chemist Warehouse replay. Oh, yeah, that's touched.
Yeah. They could put that one to bed early, I think.
Yeah, it's almost actually Falcon, Jack Leslie, on the way through. So it will be a minor score, and that will see the Bombers move to 4-4-28. The Suns 3-1-19. Kubota. History-making spring catalogue. It's out now. Great deals, competitive finance on all your Kubota favourites. Bit of a meaningless delay, that. I mean,
yeah, that's
so clear cut. Goal umpire should have just stuck to his guns. Anyway, I suppose that's why the system's there. From the kick in, Brooksby to Rosa. Here's our first look at Schoenfeld for the night. He couldn't take the ball. That kick was certainly heading towards the boundary by Bird. That was his intention, and that is a massive tackle from Patrick Ambrose.
Yep.
And there's a little bit to go on with. David Swallow bounces up. He's okay with it. Toro Neptune tackle. Drip irrigation that handles pressure better than your football team.
Bit of physicality, Benny. There was a little bit at quarter time between these 2 footy clubs, and the Bombers have come out and flexed their muscles this second quarter early. So it'd be good to see how the Suns respond here in this next sort of 20 minutes.
Merritt to Kelly as they sweep it by hand across the Metricon Stadium surface. Goddard out in front of Danaher with the one hand, scoops it in. He's collected by May. Oh, that's pretty clever play here by McKenna, handballing out in front. Nearly found Zaharakis. getting in front there and cutting it off. In the end was McPherson, but David Zaharakis wrapped him up. Big tackle, stoppage, 40 around from the Bombers' goal. No goals yet in this second term. We've been playing 8.5 minutes on the Ray White clock.
It's entertaining, this game, Benny. Plenty of heat in it, plenty of feeling. We know that the Suns, free kick here.
Yeah, out of the ruck.
In the ruck. It's going to
Chambers.
Brooksby. Oh, that's a Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, he's lucky not to get 50 there. But we know the Suns obviously playing for a bit of pride.
Little bit risky, that kick. It's going to work out all right from Brooksby. He got it to Joyce. He takes off. Look out. Green nearly got him. And he's affected the kick big time. So it might still come back. Merritt to the bootstraps of McKenna. Back to Merritt. Looks inside. Kick. Inch perfect to Bird. Not quite. Here's young Begley. Had a great first term. Don't think I've called his name in this second.
It's not good enough, Begley.
No.
What's he doing?
No. He's got a big head. He's heard what we've been saying about him. And now he's forgetting the basics. No, he's been fantastic, the young man. Zaharakis with 11 disposals for Simmons, Holmes, Goddard 10, 11 for McKenzie for the Suns. There's the Bombers. Little quick snap into the goal square. Danaher wants to deliver it against May. He won't get that. Rushed behind the result. Kubota 40-year anniversary scoreboard. Bombers 4-5-29. Gold Coast 3-1-19.
You can just see here, Benny, the Suns at the moment have stopped a little bit. Their intensity's fallen away, and their run from defence is just, you can just see the players just sort of standing around and not really looking to move or give a bit of direction to find that space. They can just see there a couple of those. They didn't need to bring the footy in so quick then, because they brought it in and then everyone just stood around. So they don't need to do that all the time. Just allow players to get, if you're going to kick it long, allow them to get to one side of the ground, outnumber, then you kick long.
Saturday night, AFL Nation round 22. Boundary throw in. Rosa off hands, got it to Hall, who just belts it up about as high as it went distance-wise. A couple of players went to spoil, nearly missed the footy. Here's Parrish, he's stripped of it, gets it back somehow, and it ends up with Bird. Inside 50 go the Dons. Kick wasn't great at the ankles of Danaher. He's bumped off the line of the footy. May, swallow, quick kick. They need a mark here. Hanley can't provide it, but front and centre is Schoenfeld. Hallahan. Merritt gets him, but not before he gets the handball to Miller. Back here to Joyce. Now to Miller. They're heading backwards again, the Suns. That kick a little dangerous, but it's worked out okay, and it finds its way to pretty much the last line. Jack Leslie for Gold Coast.
And just Simmons Holmes stats update, Benny. For the Suns, Aaron Hall 11 possessions, Trent McKenzie 11, Matt Roser on 10 possessions, Pierce Hanley on 8. For the Bomb.
Well, Sard, I'll just cut you off there, Stakes, because Adam Sard has taken off through the centre corridor. 3 bounces, kick in the direction of Hanley. One-on-one with Bagley. The Bombers man did well. Did he hold the tackle too long? He did. Free kick to Pierce Hanley. He'll be right on his limit, I'd have thought. He'll have to kick this from 50, tucked in on the boundary line.
And just for the Bombers, David Zaharakis on 11 possessions, Brendan Goddard 10, Bagley on 8 possessions, Dyson Heppel, he's also on 8 possessions.
So 21 inside 50s to 13 in favour of the Bombers. The chip short from Hanley. He wanted Ainsworth, but getting across to spoil was the skipper for the Bombers, Dyson Heppel. And another stoppage this time in the form of a boundary throwing. 45 around from the Gold Coast goal. They trail by 10 points, and we've been playing 12 minutes second term. Toss back in. Bell Chambers and Wright. Bell Chambers won it down. Zaharakis hacks it forward, but only one man flies, and that's Stephen May.
Once again, that's what he's good at. Had to throw his body in there. Not as courageous as the last one, but still followed the flight of the footy. Was strong in the contest.
Oh, and speaking of courage there, look at that. You cannot teach that. Darcy Parish, he had a player in front, a player steaming in from behind. It was Peter Wright, who's a big boy.
Big man.
And he took the mark clean as a whistle. Here's Josh Begley, the first gamer. 2 goals in his first quarter of AFL football. Heads to the boundary line, looks for Stewart, and he can't complete the mark. It's spoiled over for another throw-in.
And it will be for this next probably 12 minutes, Benny, just to see who stays their concentration, who keeps their concentration, doesn't fall away with some poor skill errors, and who executes better inside 50, because the feeling I'm getting at the moment...
Speaking of skill errors,
there's another clanger to the Bombers list, but I feel like the Bombers are starting to control the game a little bit more, and they're reducing the impact of these Suns midfielders.
Just a look at that Chemist Warehouse replay. Train hard, live large with INC Sports Nutrition and Parrish's mark. It was a look up and live mark of the night contender, an absolute beauty. Courage personified in the middle. Rosa spun once, twice. The third time was too many. And Zach Merritt with a Toro Neptune tackle contender as well. He gets his just rewards. Bang in the middle of this beautifully manicured Metricon Stadium. Inside 50 he goes. Nice mark. And this time Hooker will be paid. And he'll go back 45 out on a 45-degree angle. Probably slightly better than that. And a chance for his first goal fresh from 4 last week. The backman come forward, Carl Hooker.
I seen the game last week, Ben. He
had a purple patch in the third term.
Oh, unbelievable. He took it upon himself. He was kicking goals from absolutely everywhere. He's been quiet in the first quarter, but he takes a good contested mark there to start setting his night up. He's only had what's he only had here on the Simmons home stage? He's only had the 4 possessions, so he's lining up for his 5th possession tonight and a shot on goal. So this will be good for his confidence.
For his 40th of the season, which is a fantastic number. In he comes, off the boot, he knew straight away. Hooked it, and it misses to the right-hand side, so...
I know that he's gone forward, but he actually still kicks like...
Yeah, like a backman.
Like that run-up. He doesn't have that flowing...
Oh, the goals he kicked last week on the run outside 50, maybe he prefers not having that much time to think about it.
I would agree. I think he prefers just on the run and spare of the moment and just get on the boot.
So you're saying backmen aren't that intelligent, States? Is that what I'm picking up?
I'm just saying that they lack a little bit of flow sometimes. They're very intelligent backmen. Yeah. They have to be able to play to a style of play. So all backmen out there, you are very cluey.
Kubota 40-year anniversary spring catalogue scoreboard. Bombers lead by 11. Now free kick at half-back will go to the Suns, and it's going to go to Jack Martin. He wastes no time getting it to Harbrow.
And you can just see here the Suns again, just their ability to push forward. They are... Well, they're trying to control the footy. They were good at this in the first quarter.
Hallahan backwards to May, and by hand. He'll now switch play as they go through Sard. And all the way below us here is McKenzie, who's had plenty of the football early in this context. His kick is also short but safe, and it finds Max Spencer. Oh, they are flirting with some danger here, the Suns. You just feel like there's a turnover coming. Spencer's kick, though, for the meantime, is all right to Leslie.
I just don't think they're thinking their way through it. Look, here we go.
Oh, Tippin Woody, look out.
Great
what
mark.
A mark, Jesse Joyce. And as courageous as Parrish was, that was right up there as well with a look up and live mark of the night contender. Oh, you wouldn't think they're playing out time, the Suns, this season. Tippin Woody was coming like a steam train.
But this is what Essendon are doing well. We say that the Suns are looking a little bit slow, but it's Essendon's ability to defend here. They're getting right up, forcing the Suns off the mark on every occasion they do take a mark and not allowing them to play on. So it's good defence by the Bombers.
Fairini went to Hanley, got over the back. Hallahan, they got the sit here, the Suns. 2 of them fly. Brooksby and Martin both went the same footy. Ainsworth, great tackle, Tippin Woody. It falls to Hallahan. He looks up, player all by himself, inside 50, and this will be Schoenfeld to have a shot. Pretty tough angle, and he'll be kicking from about 45 metres out.
He will be. It'll be a tough kick. Well, you haven't seen much of this guy have shots on goal, so
no, just
let's
2
see what
career goals.
Let's see what we get for this. But yeah, I think you've got to give a bit of kudos to the Bombers there. The way they've been defending has been outstanding. They've held the Suns up and not allowed them to attack at all this quarter. 17 minutes played. We're still looking for our first goal of this second term. She's hit that nicely. Oh yes, Josh Schoenfeld, the boy from Peel Thunder in the WAFL.
Number 36, Josh Schoenfeld with the goal.
Has kicked our first goal of this second term, and with that goal, brings it back to a 5-point margin on the Kubota 40-year anniversary spring catalogue scoreboard. The Suns 4-1-25, the Bombers 4-6-30.
Yeah, in his 8th game of AFL, he's come up with the first score of the second quarter, and he stands 186 centimetres, Benny. He's a young kid, and he's a WA boy, as you mentioned, from Rockingham, WA, and obviously played for Peel Thunder in the West Australian Football League. So
fiery head of red hair as well, which we like to see.
Yes, there's been many before him with the red heads that were very good players, so he's not alone in that category.
Nice stuff, and a great conversion. We'll head around the ground shortly for Aviator X-Pro from Bayer. Out of the middle, here go the Suns again. Here's Hanley, won't have the shot. Oh, the dinky little Irish Gaelic kick, call it what you will, brilliant. And it finds Ainsworth, who can go back here, and just like that, the Gold Coast Suns could be back in the lead. 45 out, pretty much directly in front.
Momentum, it's you can't pick it when it's going to happen in AFL. Just one goal sets things off. But yeah, Pierce Hanley, it was good to see him burst out of the centre there with a bit of pace. Obviously, he's feeling good in the hamstrings, and he summed it up well. Lowered his eyes and found the short open player.
This is a guy who can kick a goal, averaging 1 a game in his short AFL career to date. Comes in 45 out. Doesn't make the distance. Has it been rushed through? No. Everyone's looking at the goal umpire waiting for a decision. There isn't one coming. The Bombers clear through McGrath. Tip and Woody didn't know where the football was. Sard fights on with him. Shovelled out in the direction of Leslie. Here's McPherson. Retreating handball to Hall. Is okay. He looked to go further back and then realised, well, no one's going to chase me and tackle me, so I'll head the other way. Kick inside 50. Hartley spills the mark. Swallow collects. Swallow snaps. And Swallow goals. So the Suns are in front. And after 19 minutes of play in this second term, back-to-back goals has them 5-1-31. The Bombers 4-6-30.
Look, I thought they were in a bit of trouble back here with Aaron Hall, but he took the game on. It was absolutely fantastic. He backed himself in. That's why he can be such an important player for this Gold Coast Suns team. And he sees those spaces. He can just turn defenders inside out, and he turns them around on a dime. He pumps the footy in long. Great contest. And David Swallow, just great snap on goal.
Yep.
And on the full too. Didn't bounce. It bounced over the line. He knew exactly where the goals were.
Never looked like missing. Around the grounds for Aviator X-Pro, the new canola foliar fungicide from Bayer. Take your yield to new heights with Aviator X-Pro at Etihad Stadium. Carlton 5-4, lead Hawthorn 2-1, make that 3-1. And that's after 14.5 minutes of play in that second quarter. Mark deep in defence here by McKenzie after the Bombers won the clearance through Danaher. Kick to half-back, and that's a mark as well to Hall. So momentum now with the Gold Coast Suns, it seems.
Very much so.
He takes the game on,
Good
comes
kick
through the middle. It was brilliant to Hallahan. He looks up. He's got a player out, and that's Harbrow. Takes the mark, sets off, and then undoes all the good work by smacking it into the man on the mark. Tip and Woody to Zaharakis, and the Bombers on the break. Hooker, Laverty, Josh Green, runs in, open goal, and he's missed it. Oh, Joshy. Well, he'll be hearing about that from his teammates for the couple of weeks to come, assuming they go on to win the game, of course, and they can joke about it. Minor score, Suns 5-1, Bombers 4-7. That's 31 apiece in my book, Stakes.
It is. And Josh Green, he could have given the hands over the top to another open player in the goal square. They've missed 2 of these, the Bombers.
Maida McKenzie.
Good kick again.
Lonergan involved, and here's Jack Martin at half-back. Looks up, left foot kick. Look at this, David Swallow. Well, the ground could swallow him up. He's in that much space. He looks up. The kick's great. It finds McPherson, I should say, the other Macca. And McPherson takes the mark 20 metres out. Slight angle, but he should go back to convert. And, well, they are just running on top of the ground at the moment, the Suns. The Bombers look a little flat-footed.
They are, and one player that I like in defence for the Suns that's setting him up is Trent McKenzie. Those long, low, hard kicks. Not many players in the AFL can do that. We know he's one of the top 10 kicks in the AFL, and he sets the play up when he finds those options that other players can't hit because the player is 40, 50 metres away. Trent McKenzie hits them.
Darcy McPherson, he let the clock run down to 3 seconds. He just wanted to soak up a little bit more knee time. Nice conversion.
Darcy McPherson, number 44.
And the Suns have got all 3 goals in this second term, and they now lead by 1 straight kick. Suns 6-1-37. The Bombers 4-7-31, and that is on the Kubota 40-year anniversary scoreboard. Here's our man for Red Energy, the 100% Australian gas and electricity retailer, Brent Staker.
I like this young kid, Darcy McPherson. We spoke about him last week, Benny. He's got some similarities to Lewis Taylor from the Brisbane Lions. He's basically the same height. He's a little bit lighter than Lewis Taylor, but you know, if he's going to force his name and forge his way at an AFL career, then that's the kind of player he needs to mould himself on, and he needs to kick big goals like that, timely goals. And great for this young player. He's only 19 years of age from Diamond Creek, Victoria.
We went 18 minutes without a goal in this second term, and the Suns have kicked 3 in the last 4. That is football in a nutshell, isn't it?
Oh, it's great. I can't believe the momentum. When you're out there sometimes, you just can't stop it. But it just when you watch from the box, it just unfolds so easily when it's unpredictable.
24 minutes on the Ray White clock. Ray White, they have the know-how. Second ball up in the middle. Rose up. Handball to the quarterback inside. Green got it. And Green gets the free kick. A Toro Neptune tackle. Had a couple of runners going past. He looks up. Hooker flies, can't take the mark. Bird overran the footy. Zaharakis to Green, nearly slipped, gets boot to ball, and this time Josh Green makes no mistake. Well, he missed the easy one, and falling over his own bootlaces, he manages to poke one through from 35 out. The Bombers get it back on level terms. Kubota 40-year anniversary scoreboard. Suns 6-1, Essendon 5-7.
And Joshy Green actually lost his mouth guard when he laid that big tackle before, so he's ran back to get his mouth guard. Look, he's a former teammate of mine, Benny, but also a former roommate. He lived with me when he first came to the Lions. He had his first year with the host family, then he was with me for 4 years. So I know Joshy Green quite well. He's a good young kid, and good to see him get a second chance at the Bombers. Plays
his 98th game tonight. It'll be 99 next week, and the Bombers make the finals. He'll be playing his 100th in an elimination final.
And first time playing finals.
Absolutely. So a big moment could await him, but there's some big moments, Bendix breaks, big moments awaiting us here on AFL Nation. Scores level late in this second term. Here's Hall combining with Harbrow. The 1-2 inside 50 go the Suns. Big fly Brooksby, couldn't take the mark. Martin wrapped up in a fantastic tackle, and it's going to be rewarded once again. He's done some nice tackling, Zach Merritt. It's not something he's renowned for. I guess he just accumulates, averaging 30 disposals this season, but he does the grunt work as well.
Yeah, look, it's such a good string to have to your bow. If you can lay those big tackles and get rewards, people notice. The coach noticed. It's a fantastic thing to be able to do.
A nice kick to Hooker. He went to Laverde. His kick, he was pushed as he kicked and it affected it. Didn't find his intended target in Heppel. The Suns now on the rebound. Archie, player down behind play. It's Green. Keep an eye on that, Stakes. I think he might have copped one in an area you probably don't want to. Here's Merritt. He's sort of limping towards the boundary for Spitwater. That's what it does. And he might just be a little sore, and he might be heading off just to count them and make sure they're all there.
Yeah, he's a bit proppy, little Joshy Green.
Heppel in short to Myers. Half back the footy at the moment for the Bombers. 37 apiece. Ray White clock reads 25.5 minutes. And I can tell you, we've got just over 2.5 left in the half. Now at half back on the far side is Bagley. Down the line he goes. Interesting sort of a kick. He's asked McKenna to come to it. It's got over the back, and this guy doesn't need an invitation to run. Connor McKenna, 2 bounces, 3 bounces, 4 bounces. Bounce it again, Connor. Kick the goal, Connor! Oh, how good are these Irish boys when they get going. 4 bounces. He could have been watching the 100-metre sprint at the Olympics. And Connor McKenna, he finishes it off with a fantastic goal. And that is the margin here at Metricon Stadium. Kubota 40-year anniversary scoreboard. The Suns 6-1-37, Essendon 6-7-43.
Oh, that's fantastic to see. Pierce Hanley from the... he'd be happy to see one of his fellow countrymen kick a goal like that. But what I like...
Do you reckon he'd be happy right now?
Well, mixed emotions, Benny, mixed emotions. But there's one passage of play there, right there, at the very last minute, that John Worsfold, I guarantee, would absolutely love. And it came from a first gamer, Andrew McGrath. He came across about 20 metres out from goal to put on a massive shepherd to release McKenna to have that shot. So that'll get shown in a meeting, and John Worsfold will sing his praises, and he'll be playing every week because of that action. Yeah,
the number 1 draft pick. He's a thoroughly impressive character, isn't he? He started his career beautifully. Thought there might have been a bit of contact below the knees there. Bombers player and Craig Bird that probably deserved a free kick. I raised that, Benny, because in my time at Perth, John Worsfold would always be showing those clips where players were unselfish and got across to help a teammate, even though they didn't have any involvement in the score or the action or the result, but they delivered an action that he absolutely loved. Gee, that shocks me that Woosha would love that sort of stuff, being the uncompromising footballer he was. Heppel's kick, Danaher on the second grab takes the mark, wants to go straight away, but he's within range on the boundary. He's not going to have the shot. He's going to put this one into the goal square. There is McGrath, but getting back and doing well. Stephen May spoils it through for a rush behind. So this game's lifted up a cog or two, Stakes, no doubt about it. 6-1-37 the Suns. The Bombers are 6-8-44. We've got 1 minute and 15 left in this opening half on AFL Nation. Bendix breaks, big moment coming up, Benny. I can feel it. Kick in from the Suns. Wright couldn't mark it. Hear that slap of fingers and hands on footy. Always worry that might mean a dislocated finger to someone. And actually, looking at Michael Hartley, he might have done just that. We'll wait and see how that plays out. Let's get to the stoppage now. Brooksby, Bell Chambers, won by the Bomber. Hall, little fumble, but he works it out okay. It was Mackenzie to Swallow. Down the line, 2-on-1, easy mark, ghosting across, taken by Marty Gleeson. His kick in short, and coming a little more centrally was McGrath. Back here to the man of the moment, Connor McKenna. One of the goals of the season. Not quite up there with Buddies, but not bad. Didn't mind it. Here's David Myers.
Oh, it was exciting to watch.
It's great stuff.
He had 4 bounces.
Yeah.
I don't think he had 4 bounces in my career, Benny.
Oh, he had 4 bounces within about 30 metres. He does like to bounce the footy, Connor.
Yeah.
All right, inside 50 they go again, the Dons. Danaher was at the front and actually got first hands to it, couldn't complete the mark. Hall, big torpedo. I love seeing the spiral, but there's Gleeson again, dying seconds of the half. Bombers need to move it quickly. Hartley, he's got to go. 10 seconds. He'd be getting the instructions back to him. Might run out of time. I need a mark here. Who's going to fly? Big moment coming up. Oh, Bell Chambers. Tipperwoody. And it won't count. It won't count, Bombers fans. It was all of 2 steps. Tipperwoody was running in on goal. The umpire has waved it out. And it was the right decision, Stakes. We heard the siren. Well done, umpires. And well done to the Suns and the Bombers, who are putting on a really entertaining spectacle. Low scoring, but entertaining. At halftime, AFL Nation, the scoreboard for Kubota reads the Gold Coast Suns 6-1-37, the Bombers 6-8-44. Halftime show coming up right after this. Thanks to Macca's, where the Chicken Clubhouse is back, now in the Macca's Gourmet Creations range.
This is 5AA football.
Falls to Hallahan, he looks up, player all by himself, inside 50, and this will be Schoenfeld, this second term. She's hit that nicely. Oh yes, Josh Schoenfeld looks up, left foot kick. Look at this, David Swallow. Well, the ground could swallow him up. He's in that much space. He looks up, the kick's great. It finds McPherson, I should say, the other Macca. And McPherson takes the mark 20 metres out. Darcy McPherson, he let the clock run down to 3 seconds. He just wanted to soak up a little bit more knee time. It's got over the back, and this guy doesn't need an invitation to run. Connor McKenna, 2 bounces, 3 bounces, 4 bounces. Bounce it again, Connor. Kick the goal, Connor!
First half highlights for the TAC towards zero. With safer speeds, roads, vehicles and people, 0 deaths and serious injuries on our roads is possible.
Yeah, welcome back here, AFL Nation Saturday night. It's round 22, and it's been an interesting contest here on the Gold Coast. The Suns and the Bombers, with the Dons holding on to their 7-point quarter-time lead at the main change. Benny Jones here with Brent Staker. Let's launch in. Plenty to get through. It's time for our Choices Flooring Halftime Floor Show.
The Choices Flooring Halftime Floor Show. For the floor you've been searching for, visit choicesflooring.com.au. This is AFL Nation.
Yeah, our man Stakes is here. Footy's a great Aussie sport. Red Energy are a great Aussie energy company. Make the switch today, 131806. It's been an interesting game, a tricky game to get a read on, Stakes. Momentum, as we've discussed through the coverage so far.
Yep.
The Suns started really well, 4 goals in a row to the Bombers, and then it was really the Suns after a tense start to the second term, 18 minutes for our first goal. They got a run on, and right before the half-time break, it was the Bombers with a couple just to keep their noses in front.
Yeah, look, fantastic. On the edge of our seats here, Benny, especially for a round 22 game. I mean, the Suns are playing for pride, as we've mentioned, and the Bombers are playing for finals footy, and they're adding to their great recovery story. But look, it's been a great game. It's been entertaining. There's been some good battles. We've spoken about the May battle versus the Joey Danaher. We've got Sard versus Tipperwoody. there's the ruck duel against a, Tom Bell-Chambers, Keegan Brooksby, but there's other duels around the ground. It's keeping us entertaining.
Yeah.
And what I like is the intensity around the contest. There's a little bit of a finals atmosphere in this game. Sometimes at the end of the season, these games can just be a drainer and people just want to get through it, but that's not the case tonight.
No, definitely not. And I think you're right with Stephen May. He's done a fantastic job. Danaher's had 8 disposals, but if you told me coming into the game that going into half-time, Danaher had 4 kicks, 4 marks, I'd expect at least a goal or 2.
Yep.
He's had no scoreboard impact at this stage, so Stephen May with his nose in front in that duel. Let's get into our Tyre Power Player of the Year. We'll do that shortly, obviously with a flooring choice, though, to suit every lifestyle. Visit your local Choices Flooring store or go to choicesflooring.com.au. Can I just say, Stakes, we need to send a thank you out to the wonderful catering staff here at Metricon Stadium.
Oh.
I don't know if they've been listening to my wife. I don't know what's been going on. I'm trying desperately to lose a bit of a beer belly, and they're feeding us with donuts. Mind you, they are gluten-free cinnamon donuts, and boy, they're not going to last long around here at the moment, are they?
No, they're disappearing right before our eyes.
There's only a couple of us in the room, but we're going to go through a 4-pack, 6-pack at least, I would have thought, by the end of this half-time break.
It's very good to just get the final treat at our last appearance at Metricon this season, Benny. I'm very happy. I'm a donut fan, so kudos to the donut makers and for bringing this up here.
Here we were thinking we were being healthy, eating salad sandwiches pre-game, and we've ruined that completely. Hey, who gets the vote so far for your Stakes in your Tyre Power Player of the Year?
Yeah, look, it's a bit of a left field one. People might not be thinking this, but I'm going for the Suns player, the Suns defender, Trent McKenzie, number 18. Look, he's been outstanding tonight. I like the way he's attacking the game. He's backing himself in with the way he takes his decision-making and kicks the footy. He sets up the play. He's such an important player. We know that in his time here at the Suns, he's 25 years of age, that he's been up and down. He started, obviously, as a young fella. He's been up and down and out of the side, but if he can really start to understand his role within the team and really back himself in him, but I feel like at times he doesn't believe in himself, then he could be a super player in the AFL and for this team. But he gets the Tyre Power Player of the game so far because he's been outstanding.
Tyre Power's Player of the Year brought to you by the Tyre Dealers of the Year. Foundation member of the club, Trent McKenzie. You're right, he's only playing his 6th game for the season tonight, but you feel it's like maybe a bit of make or break for him, and that can spur players on to greater things, and he might be playing for a contract next season, who knows. And
100%, and the other thing that he might have needed is a new coach.
Yeah, true.
So you can't say that his performances under Ede were fantastic. I can't recall too many that I know of, but look, under a new coach, the coach might be giving him different feedback, and it might just be what he needs.
Yeah, absolutely. Build your future in building, construction as well, with the Builders Academy of Australia. Bit of a no-brainer, this one. There's been some good efforts from a number of young players, but one particular wearing the red and black. He was an absolute standout in the first term for our Apprentice of the Year. Who have you gone with your Stakes?
He's been outstanding. He's the debutant. It's Josh Begley. He's 188 centimetres, 94 kilos. We spoke of that. He's from Upper Ferntree Gully. I've got no idea where that is, Benny. I'm sure you'll have it.
Out of Melbourne. Out of Melbourne.
Okay,
so,
out of Melbourne. Is that we talking Ringwood Way? Are we talking
pretty tough neighbourhood too? So he's obviously come up through the ranks
School
there.
of Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he looks like he can handle himself. He's a strapping. For 88 kilos, he doesn't look really, really skinny like they used to, so he's pretty solid. He's come out and kicked the 2 goals. He was in everything at the start there, like pepper and salt, but he's been fantastic in his first game, so he gets our nomination there.
Yeah, 19 years of age, number 16 draft pick. He actually kicked 17 goals in his first 3 TAC Cup games last season, which had eyebrows raised across the board.
Yep.
And kicked 4 against the Gold Coast in a pre-season hit-out at the start of this campaign, so maybe it's just something about playing the Suns. But great effort by him, Josh Begley, in game number 1.
Yep.
We will take a break very shortly. Of course, plenty more of our Choices Flooring halftime floor show still to come. It's the Bombers leading by 7 points at the main change. Should just head quickly around the grounds as well. And we're doing this for Aviator X-Pro from Bayer. And at half-time at Etihad Stadium, Carlton lead by 3 points. The Hawks have come back. 6-4-40 the Blues. Hawthorn 5-7-37. I know there's a few things that have to happen for the Hawks to make the finals. There's about 10 things that have to happen.
Yep.
Very unlikely. So you'd say that's a game that won't have a bearing on the top 8. Winners earlier today, it was the Dogs, the premiership winners from last year. I don't think they're defending their title. They were knocked over by Port Adelaide down in Ballarat for a bit of history made there. 17-point win for the Power. Collingwood started like a house on fire against the Cats, couldn't sustain it. Geelong win by 11 points, so they'll get the double chance.
Yep.
And the Giants, well, they survived a scare against West Coast at home, running out eventual winners by 21 points.
That's huge for Geelong. Massive for Geelong.
And for GW. They could meet, well, they meet next week in Geelong. they could meet there again a fortnight after that in a qualifying final. Exciting September ahead. We can't wait for it.
Yep.
And an exciting EJ Whitten Legends game that you're involved in, Stakes, that
Get around
I don't know if your hamstrings are excited about. We'll find out soon enough. Hey, before we get to the break, though, it's time to find out all the latest in footy news.
A footy news update from Makita's cordless power garden range.
A big thank you to Val back in the studio for putting this together for me as well. Melbourne forward Jack Watts has been reported in the VFL today for charging in Casey's 16-point win over Williamstown. Watts went up to spoil Seagull Nick Singh, but collected the player instead of the ball. The umpire reported the demon immediately, but reports are indicating he won't be suspended. Bulldogs forward Jake Stringer may be unlikely to face Hawthorn next Friday night after he suffered a hamstring injury in today's loss to Port Adelaide. Stringer went down in the opening quarter and was unable to return for the rest of the game. Forward just in his second game back from returning from the same injury, where he missed 3 weeks. And the Cats have overcome a slow start to defeat Collingwood, keeping the chances of a home final alive. The Cats trailed by 28 points in the opening term before running over the Magpies to record an 11-point win at the MCG. They face the Giants at Simmons Stadium next week. The winner will finish in second place. And that is the latest in footy news.